Good day, everyone. This is Planet Mules, and welcome to DDO Players News, where we take a look at the latest news in DDO and on the tabletop. And please welcome my co-host from Ravenloft, Dracula.
Hey now, everybody. How's it going?
Hello there, Drek. How are things going in Barovia?
It's been a day.
It has been a day. The peasants are now getting woken up after the New Year celebrations, I guess.
Apparently, the holidays are over and now they're being peasanty again. It's been a day.
Then let's head over to the Chronicle, issue 316, where we've got some rather cold wolves, it looks like.
Apropos for the weather I'm having, at least. So I'm right at home with this Chronicle cover this week. Yeah, looks like we got some wolves and a giant. So, okay then. Yeah, issue 316 of the Chronicle, hot off the presses yet again. 3 hours ago as we record. See breaking Chronicle news right here. And in the Chronicle, we have not much.
Not much?
We don't have much of anything this week, actually. I think it's still kind of like that. Okay, everybody's kind of back to work in the gaming industry, and nobody's really announcing anything right now because everybody's just coming back off the holidays. So
anyway, they're busy doing the patch on the Lotro side.
Oh, there you go. See, that was taking all of their time, apparently. So yeah, we have no game news other than the Chronicle, so let's jump right into it. And it is not much other than DDO bonus days. See, we can talk about this now because it used to be the bonus days would end about the time we would record, or there would only be maybe one day of it left. But see, now we can talk about it because you got 3 days now through January 13th. We have our DDO bonus days. It is the double commendations of valor. So yay for that, I guess. In the fan site news section, SIP has a new blog post up. Say no to orbs. I have to read it.
Orcs?
To orbs.
Oh, orbs.
Well, probably orcs, too, because, orcs, orbs, probably maybe same difference. I don't know. I have to read it. I haven't read his. See, this Chronicle is so new, I haven't even looked at half of this stuff yet because it's hot off the presses. The latest DDO cast is up, episode 554. I still say that is amazing. They are looking at their 2018 year in review, and this is part 1 of the show. Check out the latest Damsels of DDO because you want to. Don't forget, you can also watch on Sundays over on DDO Stream, and you can watch replays of it as well. DDO Sunday with Alex and Lynn. Edric is back blog posting again. Just a random thought about Festival. You can check out the latest brand new show that is on D&D Night on DDO Stream. Bonnie Bew is your dungeon master for this one, and it is a monster in the swamp. You can check out part 1, which I think they played that on Sunday night, actually. Streaming with Even is up to episode 83. Don't forget about the DDO PL folks. Still not in English, still in Polish for the new year. Just throwing it out there as they're doing Marketplace Quest. And Free DO with Psycho Blonde is up to episode 13. And of course, our Chronicle comment.
Ooh.
So let's say, Pineleaf, you find yourself lost in the woods. You have no clear way out. What do you do?
Lost in the woods, have no clear way out. Well, that is certainly a good question, but now, first of all, it depends on whether I'm a D&D character or myself, because I'd probably wind up tripping over a bunch of tangled roots and getting killed.
Yeah, I'm not sure if this is like your character or you.
Yeah.
But my answer would kind of work for both. See, as I tend to play a lot of survival video games, so as any good survival video game has taught me, a la my playthroughs of 7 Days to Die, which is the latest survival game I'm playing, I would start chopping trees because you need that wood.
Actually, if my Minecraft one going, I wind up punching the trees instead.
Well, okay.
I'll probably start bleeding as a result
Yeah.
of that.
I guess that's true, because at this point I wouldn't even have a stone axe. So yes, I would be punching trees to get some wood. That's what I would do if I was lost in the woods. And don't forget, we have our official screenshot of the week. The High Lords of Malkir celebrate the holidays with raid nights over on Sarlona. And that's the 398th DDO screenshot of the week. And that is thanks to Little Mama for sending that screenshot in.
Alrighty. Then let's head into our... Actually, we already talked about our store sales. It sounded like...
No, we didn't. We just talked about the bonus days.
Okay. You consider those to be different. All
Yeah,
right.
see, I don't consider them store sales. I don't know why in the Chronicle they have those in with the store sales, because that's not really a store item. That's just something bonus you get in the game.
All right. So what's really on sale?
In our DDO store, it is the Hack and Stash, not the slash, the stash sale. 25% off Slayer Boost, Loot Boost, and Treasure Hunter Elixirs. Select shared storage. And that runs through January the 17th. The weekly coupon code will get you a Lesser Treasure Hunter's Elixir. Use the coupon code TREASURE also through January the 17th.
Now, I do wonder one thing concerning Treasure Hunter's Elixirs.
Mm-hmm.
Since what they tend to do is increase the level of the treasure you find, then that means you're going to be finding more treasure that you can't use because it's going to be too high for you.
Maybe. Possibly. Because, yeah, the lesser one that is the free sample will give you a +5 to your loot roll.
Oh, okay, it changes your loot roll rather than changing the level?
Yes, it's the loot roll, yes. It's not the actual level.
Okay, I guess because I've used one of those things, it did tend to be too high for me.
Yeah, and that is just for you and not your entire party. And the nice thing about those too is that is like a totally separate bonus. So if you have like a Jewel of Fortune, you have that running. That is not included with this. So you get the +5 loot roll, and you get your Jewel of Fortune. And if you have one of the treasure finding things going, you have that too. So you can have a lot of good stuff. But yeah, the lesser I think is +5. The moderate's +10. And then the greater is +15, I do believe.
Okay, I was thinking the Jewel of Fortune when I was... I think...
Yes.
When I was thinking it raised the level or something.
Yes, that I do believe you are correct. I think that does. Let me look that up real quick.
Okay, so those are two separate things.
Yes, the small Jewel of Fortune is a +1 to your loot. Medium is a +1 as well. And then the large and the huge are a +2 to your loot.
All right.
But those do stack separately from the greater or the Treasure Hunter Elixir. So you can have both running and get lots of good loot, unless you're me. And then you don't, because RNG sucks. Well established at this point that it sucks.
Then let's go and see the one news item that we have, and that is Proving Ground solo dice game is coming from Renegade Games Studio. And what exactly is this?
I think this screams Pine Leaf is what this is. When I got this press release, I'm like, ooh, new game for Pine Leaf to play. Because, okay, let's be honest. This puts check marks in all the boxes.
Okay, let's hear it.
Dice games. You like dice games.
All right. Fine.
Solo games. You like solo games.
Yeah.
And a story-based game. You like story-based games. See, right there. 3 check marks for you, Pine Leaf. Yeah, Proving Grounds. This is going to be the first game in a planned series of games coming from Renegade Games. It is in their Solo Hero series. The backstory to this one is Maria Strongheart stands alone against the world. A cabal of conspirators have framed her for the death of her own mother, who just so happens to be the Sun Queen.
Oops.
These traitors do intend to usurp the throne from her family. To prove her own innocence and to reclaim her birthright, Maria must step into the proving grounds and complete a trial that will stretch her combat skills to the limit. As I said, this is a first in a planned series of Solo Heroes games. Maria must battle 6 combatants at a time and defeat a total of 8 enemies to win the game. But thankfully, she has enlisted the help of a dragon.
All right, so that's why she's standing next to one in that shot.
She's got a dragon to help her fight. That's not fair, really, but you know.
Well, considering that her opponents are framing her for murder.
Well, true. That's true.
Mother.
Fair went out the window. That's true. And to set all this up, there is going to be a 32-page booklet that is going to set up the backstory. So it comes with a little mini book that you're going to get the backstory, and then you're going to jump in and play. The way that it is going to work is there is going to be mix and match modules, and that is going to help to add to your challenges and your replayability of the game. But this is going to come with 14 custom attack dice, 1 custom dragonling dice, 1 health marker, 1 token for your dragon friend, an encounter board, battle markers, reference cards, conspirator cards, yada, yada, yada. And, of course, the book and your rule book. Look for the solo game coming in April from Renegade Game Studios. You can pre-order now via their official webpage. I would assume you could also stop by your friendly local game store and pre-order this as well. It's not up for pre-order yet on Amazon or Cool Stuff, any of those places. They don't have a pre-order yet, but you can go over to the Renegade page and get it. But it sounds pretty cool. It is, once again, Proving Grounds. It's going to be a solo dice game. And from what I could tell from the press release, you can only play this solo.
All right. 14 custom attack dice. That's the thing that always scares me when they say custom dice.
That's a lot of dice, too, but yeah.
Well, I would say that the odds of me going a week without losing one of these dice are rather slim.
Well, there's always that.
Yes. I mean, the great advantage of having normal dice in a game is that you have normal dice. If you lose one, you can easily find a substitute if you have trouble finding it.
True.
And apparently, that's the only bit of news this week.
That's it.
What about all those Kickstarters that are starting and stuff like that? None of them were exciting to you, I guess.
I'll be honest, I didn't even look at any of the new Kickstarters. So is there any that caught your eye that you're thinking of backing? Because, yeah, I haven't even kept up with any of that.
Well, that is a good question. What are the good Kickstarters that we have going on right now? It's trying to remember them, that's all.
Well, there is that. There's always...
Yes, it's January. I noticed that there was this little bit of a pause, but this year they have so many Kickstarters coming up on... They had so many last year that they started on the page where they keep track of the Kickstarters. They started to push the limits of what they're allowed on a geek list. So this year they decided to split it into 2 6-month lists instead of 1 year-long list. Well, one interesting one is Zero Phoenix Rising.
Oh, I guess I didn't realize that was going to Kickstarter. I thought that was going straight to retail.
Yeah, that's just hit on Kickstarter, $10,000 goal, and I think they just started the Kickstarter today, and so far they've got 241% of that.
Oh, jeez. Okay, then.
So there won't be too many questions on whether or not that one's going to fund. And let's see. Railways of Portugal, which is an expansion to Railways of the World.
Yeah, I got a press release on that. I was going to make a post, but I failed in doing that as well.
Yeah. Dicetopia, Roll with the Punches.
I'm not familiar with that one at all.
Well, let's see. Because I've occasionally heard about Dicetopia, though I haven't done anything with that, though. Considering that it is trying to figure out what country that's from somewhere in. It has to be Eastern Europe because the rest of Europe would be using euros.
True.
True. So someplace in Eastern Europe that does not use euros yet is Cape, a game of zombies and survivor. Oh boy, that's
Oh, well, hey, now, hold on now. Now, this sounds like a good game right here.
Yeah, right.
I'm not familiar with that one either, actually.
No, that one looks like a rather obscure. They didn't even provide. We don't even have a 40 game page for it yet.
Oh, jeez.
Since there's no image available on the geek list there, that usually means they don't have it already. Then let's see, Onimaru, which is be a hero, save a realm, build your own warrior to stand against the demonic invasion, and in this challenging, fully cooperative game. And that one has a 30,000 goal, of which they met 405%.
Good Lord. It's amazing to me at how much and how fast these board games are hitting their Kickstarters now.
And let's see. And for the silliest concepts I've seen, Thumb Chess, a take anywhere and play anywhere game. Don't ask. That is
Okay.
Or Born to Serve, a super-powered game of table service.
Please tell me that one's not funded yet.
That one is at, let's see, of the $5,000 goal, they're at $4,025. So therefore, they have 3 weeks to go and are 80% of the way to.
Wow, really?
La Stanza, a game by Nuno Bizarro, Sentiero, and Paulo Soldades, set in the Renaissance era.
Okay, that kind of sounds like a weird game, but okay.
Okay. New Salem, 2nd edition.
And that is I do believe, a Kickstarter that they are trying again. The first time they had that up, I think the Kickstarter did not fund, and they tweaked it, and now it's back.
And now it's back, and apparently they must have also set a relatively low goal because they have funded.
Oh, well, that's good.
So because they set a goal of 18,000, 31,000 is how much they've got right now. I don't know if what they did is that if they set the goal below the previous attempt.
I don't remember. It seems like I think they got to like 90%, 91% last time, but I don't remember what the goal was, though, to be honest.
Western Legends so an expansion to Western Legends, and of course that one is at 410% already.
And to answer your question, I just looked it up real quick. $20,000 was their first original goal.
Their original goal was
20,000. Yep.
20,000. So they so they lowered it to just how much they made last time.
Yeah, because they
must have done.
They were at 92% last time, so yeah.
Well, then they must have done some good tweaking to it if they're at 31,000 right now. So they must be doing something better than last time. War of the Worlds, the new wave game, which is set a few years after the novel by H.G. Wells.
I was just about to ask, does that have anything to do with H.G. Wells? I figured it almost had to, but I thought I'd ask.
Yeah. So that's what's on Kickstarter for the moment. Let's then head into our week in gaming. And what were you?
Not a lot, really. I had another one of my weeks that I've been having. Hopefully, these will stop at some point, and I'll be able to actually game, which would be great. But alas, I did do a little bit of video game playing. I did some DDO with you. And then elsewhere, video game wise, I checked out a new game that a review will be coming soon over to DDO Players for. It is called Strange Brigade. This is you can play up to 4 people at a time, so it's like a co-op game. Of course, you can also play it solo, which is how I was playing it. It's a third-person shooter, not a first-person shooter, because you kind of see the back of your character as you're running around, so that's why it's not a first, it's a third. It's a interesting concept. You're a member of the Strange Brigade, which is a elite force that goes in and has to figure out supernatural mysteries. The first adventure that you run through the game, you're in ancient Egypt. Oh, not ancient Egypt. I'm sorry. You're just in Egypt, and one of your fellow strange brigaders have gone missing. They went to go with a amateur archaeologist who was going to open up a tomb, and neither one of them has been heard from. So you have to solve that mystery, figure out what went on, and of course, you're having to shoot things. You have plenty of guns to choose from, and you are fighting mummies and skeletons and anything that you can imagine you would find in Egypt, you're going to shoot in this. So, fun game. I liked it a lot. A little slight spoiler alert for my review. There's a lot of puzzles in this game.
Well,
like a lot.
And I know how you feel about puzzles.
Like, for example, in the I guess, spoiler if you're going to play the game, in the end of the first mission that you do, you enter, I'm not going to tell you a lot about it. I'm going to keep it kind of vague, but it's going to be kind of light spoilers. You go into a tomb, and to get out of the tomb, you have to solve a puzzle that involves the floor and above you. That's all I'm going to say. It took me forever to figure that out.
Mm-hmm.
So, puzzles. I'm enjoying it so far. I guess we'll see how much more puzzly it gets. I think I about have my limit on puzzles in it, so we'll see. But that's called Strange Brigade. Complete review coming soon over on the site. Then the only other thing I did is 7 Days to Die. This was back in December, actually released.
Oh, good grief.
Yeah. They released their much anticipated Alpha 17, which really changed the game a lot. They did a lot of changes, so I finally got to play a little bit with that. I did not play on our server with it, though. I just played my solo game. I had to start a new game. I like it so far. There's some of the things they changed. I'm kind of like, I'm sure why you did this. But I will say it's a lot harder now, though. It's way harder than what it was, which I guess is a good thing. But it's pretty frustrating, too, especially because they changed the way stamina works. And that takes a lot to get used to, so we'll see. Hopefully, I'll be able to jump in on our server pretty soon. The one that we play with Patrick from DDO Cast and Lessa and Mythery, and so hopefully I'll get to jump in there and play with all those wonderful people again. But other than that, that's all I've been doing. Just like I said, I've been having a week. Life, Pine Leaf, life,
the universe, and everything.
Exactly. Seems like to me it's just everything. That's kind of what it boils down to at this point. But, so what about you, Pine Leaf? Tell all about your adventures, because I'm sure you did a lot, as you always do. I don't know how you find the time.
We will begin with what I did with you, and that it was with my Wood Elf Druid, and you were playing your Wood Elf Rogue, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We first went into House Beneath, where we went into the depths, first of despair, then of darkness, then of discord, and then of doom.
There's a lot of depths in House Beneath, apparently.
Yeah, they go into the depths quite a bit. We ran all of those things. Then after that, we decided it's been a while since we've been in Three Barrel Cove. So that's where we went and ran guard duty, the Stones Run Red, and then the Legend of Three Toes Tobias.
Mm-hmm. I like all those. It's like I said, it has been forever. I'm glad that we kind of decided to go out there. It'll be interesting to see the rest of the quests, because I haven't done these quests in forever.
Yeah, I'm not too sure I've ever done all of the quests inside Three Barrel Cove.
Well, this will be.
We'll find out. If there is one where I say, no, this one doesn't look familiar at all, but we'll have to see. Then on my Dragonborn Artificer, went back to Barovia, and I decided that since I didn't have anything to do on my main character on Lotro for YouTube this month, I thought, why won't I do some DDO? So I decided to take my my Dragonborn who's in Barovia. So I reran Death House so I could do that for a YouTube video. And of course, I always like doing that when I say I just certainly wasn't going to skip doing Death House just because I'd already done it twice on that character, right?
Of course, I love Death House. That is such a great
Right.
quest.
So I ran Death House, then I redid Fresh Baked Dreams. This time I ran it on normal because I told you before I had run
Yep.
it at normal, got slaughtered in the boss fight, then was able to win and progress by running it at casual. So this time I decided let's try it again at normal since there was no requirement that I actually finish it this time. If I get killed, I get killed because I've already progressed in the meta chain. And I went in there and I guess it must be the order in which you kill the bosses in here because when I was doing it on casual, I did not get the follow-up thing that you have to where you have to chase her and stop but this time I did. So my guess is that you kill the daughters first, then I suppose that she escapes and you have to do a follow-up. But if you kill her
Oh,
before
yeah.
when the daughters, I guess it means that there is no follow-up section.
I can't remember. It's been a while since I ran that quest.
That's my hypothesis right now is because I'm trying to think, well, why did I get it this time but not the previous time? At first I was thinking maybe it was because last time I was on casual, but now I think maybe it's because what they say is that when you kill the two daughters, she escapes and flees. But of course, if you kill her before both daughters, then well, it's not going to happen. So that's going to be my guess is that I was just killing them so fast when I was on casual because they were weaker then. But I managed to get through it this time and finish that up. And then I ran an invitation to dinner. There was one point where I was going in there where my cleric quickly ran out of power.
Oh dear.
You know
That's
how,
probably not a good thing.
yes, and I didn't remember. Okay, I presume that the chapel, yeah, I had guessed that, of course, that the chapel would have a rest shrine, but I didn't remember where the rest of them were. So I was looking for the various areas in there. And when I came to the room where you run the Strahd again, for the first time in which I've been doing this quest, I thought, what happens if I don't bother talking to Strahd? And of course, because the thing about talking to Strahd and going to the other room is an optional. So of course, you don't get credit for the optional. That's what happens. So that made it because there was no way in the world I was going to survive that fight. I felt that if I had done that. Now the nasty thing then came when I had finished everything except getting to the top where you're supposed to exit. I had finished everything else, and then that's when I came into the portrait room. Actually, I guess he's standing in the middle of a landscape there or something like this. But anyway, where you have Strahd's painting where you're supposed to fight.
Yep.
And boy, that painting is tough.
It is. Yeah, that's a tough fight. That very, very is.
I think that's right. The first time is, of course, in the middle of the fight, I had forgotten about the floor that gives way in the middle.
That's what I was just about to ask. Don't tell me you fell down the floor again.
Yeah, I fell down the floor. I should have remembered that and, of course, stayed away from the center of the room. But I fell down the floor. Then I had to come back up and get all prepped in there. I think I got killed 2, maybe 3 times during the course of this. Unfortunately, the cleric had energy by this time again, since I had visited the
that helped then, yeah.
The temple since then. So that helped there, but I did have to get revived a couple of times. So I was able to finish it. So that finishes up the first round of there. And I've decided that I'm going to head back into Stormreach for a little while. I'm going to do a couple of level 10 quests there in order to get myself up to level 11. And then when I'm at level 11, I'll go into the next section, since the next bout of quests are level 11 quests.
Well, that kind of makes sense. I can see that, yeah.
Then in Minecraft, in my railroad challenge, I built the first section of line on my southern route. I just built the line itself and created a tunnel where I'll be going under. So I have the bedding down and the rail down and did some exploration in the area. But I still, of course, need to do all the real decoration and, of course, the protection so that I don't get a bunch of zombies and creepers blasting and attacking me while I'm going through that area. But I got the basics done, and I now know where the rail line lines are going to be going. And in my multiplayer game, I converted my nether portal into a water shrine, and I think I did a pretty good job on this shrine, and I like how the build looks, which is probably more than I can say about a lot of the builds I've done so far this year on that server. I think that went fairly well. Then in tabletop, I was playing Arkham Horror, the card game, and I played the first two parts of the Forgotten Age campaign. This is a campaign that I just got. So this is my first attempt at this. I'm going with one of the newer investigators, Ursula Downs, and seeing how that goes. Who's an explorer, so therefore I figured that's a nice one to do for the Forgotten Ages. Then I've barely came out reasonably well in the first two, but of course I'm playing this on easy mode since it's the first time I like going through the story, the first time I run one of these things.
Mm-hmm.
So I am going through it easy, and I did squeak by on the two runs, of course. But of course, those are the first two adventures in the series. I know how in these things they tend to ramp up when you get to the later adventures because this is Cthulhu and nothing's easy,
That's
especially
right.
since no matter how well you do, you're going to make a few enemies that are going to come back and bite you. And of course, I inevitably did that.
Or you'll go insane, whichever happens first.
Well, yes, there's always that possibility also. But sometimes you have enemies that help you to go insane and the like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you do understand that one. Then in tabletop apps, I was playing some the Steam version of Mystic Veil, and I've had a chance to play with that some and I'm having some fun there. Right now, they only have the basic game in there because I believe they're actually technically in early access. I suspect that right now they're trying to make sure that the basic game is all nice and fit, and maybe after that, they might start implementing some of the expansions, which I am sure are going to come out as DLCs because we are talking about AEG here.
Yeah, exactly. That screams DLC.
Yeah, it screams DLC, especially considering that there are, I believe, 5 expansions out for Mystic Veil currently.
I think so. 5 or 6. Yeah, there's quite a few.
There are at least 5 because I was just watching Rado's rundowns on 3, 4, and 5. So if there's a 6th one, Rado hasn't had time to get to it yet. And that's what I did this week. We currently have 21 supporters on Patreon. If you choose the donations page where you can support the Players Alliance on Patreon. There you'll find rewards, including a choice or even be guests with us for an episode of DDO Players News. This week, we did not receive any emails, but if you'd like to send us one, you can send it to podcast@ddoplayers.com. You'd also follow us on Twitter, the Players Alliance @Players Ally, DDO Players @DDO Players, Draculetta @Dracula_72, Pineleaf @Pineleaf Needles, and you could follow Draculetta on Twitch @Draculetta_72. The Players Alliance has 2 live shows on Thursdays at 7 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have DDO Players News, and on Saturdays at 8:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Time. We have Electro Players News. And you can join us for our live shows at ddoplayers.com/live. And that's all for tonight. And this is Pineleaf Needles reminding you to quest responsibly.